Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we are doing a deep dive about our thoughts about KALYBRIAH and EDMOND.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. Listen here. I promise y'all 3 deep dives. This is one of 3 of Love is Blind. So far, Blair, how are you feeling about the season, 6 episodes in?
It is an insane season. It is keeping me entertained, but I am worried for these people's well-being.
Oh, yeah. So let's start off with KALYBRIAH and EDMOND, because I feel like they are the hot topic. They are the only black couple that has been chosen outside of the pods for them to be with each other. And I want to play a game, because you like games.
I love games.
Right? So I want to play a game. Blair, why don't you show them your plates, right? Show them your plates, right? We have red and green. Can you turn it over, please?
Oh, sorry.
Please, thank you. We have red and green plates. Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck are these black people with these Kwanzaa plates going to do? Mm-hmm. Right? We're not going to play Kwanzaa, okay. Right? We're going to play a game of red light, green light, right? Or red flag, green flag, right? Now, I have some questions just to make sure that we are on one accord what a green flag is and what is a red flag is. So when I ask the question, you will raise up what you believe the red flag is and what the green flag is. You ready for a test question?
I'm ready. I want to know if y'all are ready, because I want to see y'all's responses in the comments of which ones y'all think are red and green.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's do a test question.
All right.
Stealing from your partner. That is a red flag. Mm-hmm. Right. Nice. Respecting your partner's boundaries. That is a green flag, right? Signing up for Love is Blind. That is a red flag, okay? Like, do you understand? So you understand the premise of the game?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get down to some real questions about KALYBRIAH and EDMOND, if y'all don't mind, right?
All right.
Crying on the first date. That is a red flag. Why is that a red flag to you, Blair?
You don't know this person very well, and this person isn't going to be equipped to handle whatever it is that you're coming with, and will probably not want to see you again. Yeah. So if you do want to go on second dates with people, try to keep the tears to non-existent.
Yes. Now, the backstory to this is EDMOND and KALYBRIAH, they are in the pods. Right? In the pods, they talking to each other, they getting to know each other. Now, we see EDMOND, but she don't see EDMOND. Right? She hears EDMOND, but she don't see EDMOND, right? And throughout the process, something happens to where he breaks down crying, but not in a way that's just the tears flowing or he gets choked up. He allowed himself to be overtaken by emotions, and he begins to cry, like hard cry and things like that. And to me, that is an obvious red flag, right? I think a lot of people will hear men crying and automatically thinks that's vulnerability or rather that's being vulnerable rather. But there is something to, hey, you want to present your best self on a first date or second date or in the first set of dates.
Your most stable self.
Your most stable self even, right? Listen here, there is no exceptions to crying on the first date. If you just had somebody that you cared about that passed away, and then you went on a date, and let's say a couple days after, and you're not stable enough to regulate your emotions, you crying because of a dead person doesn't make it a green flag.
Right.
Regulate yourself, present your best self, and present your best stable self, so that you can show up as your best self and potentially be in a good relationship. Any questions on that, Blair?
No questions.
Let's go on to the next one. Pet names being used in the courting stage. Red flag, green flag. Which one? I am waiting on you on this one. Why do you choose red?
I chose red because it can come across a lot of different ways, and you want to come across the most genuine. Mm-hmm. It can come across love bombing. Mm-hmm. It can come across as, do you say this to everybody? So until you kind of get to know somebody and really get a little bit closer and to where they actually are your babe, your boo thing, then it's best to keep the pet names to a minimum. I don't hate it.
You don't hate it.
I don't hate it, but it is a red flag because you just don't know the person, so you don't know the intentions with it. So
to me, it is a red flag as well. Main thing that I want to point to is during the EDMOND and KALYBRIAH talking stage in the pods, what was KALYBRIAH saying to EDMOND? My love, my love, my love, right? That is a pet name, right? To me, I don't want to go so far and say that's love bombing, but to me, it just comes off as, especially in the way that he was acting, it just didn't fit. Like it just felt like whoever was behind that wall was going to be my love, right? It's almost the same thing as you could look at Ali and Anton, to where he was saying baby. You get what I'm saying? I think in the beginning stages of courting, I think we should just stick to names because number one, I just learned your name.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Blair as much as possible so it can stay in my membrane.
And let me know you know my name.
Yes, right? Before I start saying my love, my love, my love. To me, it did not come off as, for one, a pet name is there to basically let the other person know that they are special to you in some way. Some people say babe, some people say baby. But the way that Edmond was presenting himself and for him to be called my love, it was almost like a mother saying that to someone that needed some type of like reassurance to something.
But I do want to add to the conversation.
Help me.
Because sometimes I say my love when I talk to my friends or, family members or, my, like little, nieces and nephews. I'd be like, yes, love, what can I do for you? Things like that. And although it's a pet name, it can be just a term of endearment. That doesn't necessarily mean something romantic, and it could be the way that she talks. But yes. I will say in this arena,
context matters.
In this arena and context matters. By saying that and by you not knowing the person, it's questionable.
Yes.
It can be questionable.
Yeah, because those are your nieces. Those are your family. Those are
my loved ones.
Your loved ones. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another example of that can be, y'all can go back to Love Island season 7, where Maya and Ace first got together. And to him, he saw it as a red flag of saying, hey, don't call me babe. Now, to me, I saw Ace as a red flag of like, she can't do anything. She can't touch you. She can't call you babe. She can't really... After you chose her to be in a couple, she can't really show any type of affection in basically the context of
within the couple.
Within the couple.
Right.
So in that arena, I think we should stay away from pet names in the courting stage of getting to know each other. Right? You ready for the next question?
Yep. Staying
in a relationship in hopes of fixing the other person. Come on now. Y'all should get the hint. I think KALYBRIAH's, I wish I could just hear her say her name one time, right? I think because of her profession, she's a social worker. And because of her desire to help people in the sense of Section 8 homing and things like that, I think she sees Edmond as a project. I think she hears how he talks from behind the wall, and she hears like, oh, this is a project. And in social work, I fix things. You know what? I build things. You know what? I fix problems. And I think if you're entering into a process, especially since you're not stuck with this person, this is not married at first sight, you have a chance to talk to multiple people, a chance to build multiple connections. And now I have to question her intent of, you heard this guy behind the wall and you decided to stay with this guy. And I wonder, did you stay with this guy because you have hopes of fixing him? What is your thoughts, Blair?
Yeah, I think when it comes to being with somebody in the hopes of changing them, you can't guarantee somebody's going to change.
No.
I will say that there are things that people can work on independently, and there are certain things you have to work on within a relationship because you're not going to be tested and tried in those ways if you're single.
Yeah.
But I think that when we talk about emotional regulation, I think that's one of those things that we have to take into consideration of whether the person has it or if they don't.
Yes.
At the moment that you choose them. And it's not something that, I can deal with and try to manage at a later date or see if I can get them to be a little bit more regulated. I think it's one of those things, either you have it right now or you don't. And if you don't, that's one of those things that independently as a single person, you should handle, tackle before you get into the coupling stages. So,
now, I think the green flag of this can be, number one, you get with somebody and you accept them for who they are in totality. Let's start there, right? When you accept someone for who they are in totality, besides pulling out your tool belt, right? That gives them the freedom to even be open to, you know what? How about you try this? How about you try that, right? In many cases in relationships, especially in the courting stage, you have to earn the other person's trust. right? And sometimes I need to know first before you get to trying to change me, before you get into trying to fix me. I need to know that you accept me for me first, right? And then once I learn that you accept me for me, green flag, green light, right? Then I may be open to suggestions. Okay, high waters is not a good look for me. Skinny jeans is not a good look for me. Okay, not the whole trying to change somebody or their whole DNA of who they are. And I give you an example. We saw in episode 6 to where she gave a hypothetical, right? Knowing the guy that she's with, at least the look of him, right? And KALYBRIAH gives a hypothetical of what if we're in the club and a big, buff, strong guy comes and grab me. Now, that's very important that she used those adjectives, right? She basically tried to use an adjective to basically show that, hey, this is the type of guy that I believe, Edmond, you are intimidated by. Because she did not say, what if another guy was to grab me?
Yeah.
She wanted to basically paint a picture that, hey, what if a man grabbed me in comparison to who I believe you to be?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read between the lines, right? And then Edmond said, I would say, let's go somewhere else. Right. And she said, well, we can't go because he got me grabbed. He holding on to my arm and things like that. He said, well, I'm going to get security. Like I'm going to get professionals to come, actually people who are hired to do their job, right. Basically. Right. And she said, what are you going to get somebody else to basically defend your woman? I am your lady. You ain't going to do nothing to basically get his hands off of me. He said, look, listen here. I don't care if he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I only put my hands on the other person if we are hugging or if we are basically in
giving a handshake.
Basically moments of embrace. I'm not a violent guy.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt like that hypothetical was KALYBRIAH's way of trying to suggestively change Edmond, knowing that he's not this type of person and things like that.
And I posed the question.
Help me.
Because they included this little piece to, I think, paint a picture for us. When Edmond refused to kill the fly.
Oh, yeah.
And tried to give the fly an opportunity to live and to go and be free in the world. I wonder if KALYBRIAH was turned off by that.
Dang.
And because she was turned off by that, she had to go into her toolbox.
She went in her toolbox.
Grab out a hypothetical. And to see, if you can't kill a fly, are you going to protect me in some type of way? Are you going to make sure I'm good? If I say I don't want to cohabitate with bugs, are you going to do something about it?
You talking to us good right now, Blair. I ain't gonna hold you. Go ahead.
So I'm wondering, with that situation happening, them showing that to us, did that play into her wanting to push Edmond to see what kind of man was he really? And I actually liked Edmond's response when he said, you can call me, a kitty cat, whatever you might want to call me. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that stands out to me in, our early courting stages
do not tell him. Okay.
Is that we were in a long distance relationship for a few months before, we moved to I moved to his state, back to where I live. And during that time frame, I always wanted to squeeze out as much information about Chris as I possibly could. I need to know everything. What about this? What about that? How do you feel in these situations? How do you feel about that situations? And I think that is part of getting to know somebody, but being around somebody, seeing how they interact, seeing how they respond to things is also another way of getting to know somebody. And I think that in that instance, KALYBRIAH took that as an opportunity to get to know him, but didn't like what she saw. So tell me something I want to hear.
Yeah.
Tell me something I like.
And I'm not an orange. You just can't squeeze me. You're not. You can't squeeze me. I think the parallel that you made with the bug, I totally forgot about that. But that's a beautiful parallel of the bug and the big, buff, strong guy. You get what I'm saying? That grabbed her arm. And here's the thing about it. No answer that he gave would have been the answer that she wanted to hear. That's why she kept changing it. Because when he said, I walk away or I make sure to get us away from impending danger, she said, but he got me grabbed. She wanted to hear him say, I'm going to beat him up because no one going to touch my girl. Okay, let's move on to this, right? Excessive expressions of PDA.
Excessive. Well, when you say excessive, I feel like that's leading the witness.
Am I leading the witness? Excessive. Okay, everybody put their flag down. Everybody put their flag down since I'm leading the witness. Expressions of PDA. Green flag, red flag. Don't be scared. Put it up, Blair.
I guess you're not really leading. And the reason I answered the way I did at first is because handhold, a hug, all that type of stuff is fine. But we're also talking in the context of Love is Blind with these episodes that we done seen. Don't be grabbing, sucking, licking, touching feet in front of everybody to make it seem like you guys are in such a great place. And the thing is, I don't necessarily think Edmond did that to make it appear that way to other people. Maybe part of it. I think he was trying to get his lady hot and ready for later on.
Okay. And listen here, I'm gonna read the official Oxford Dictionary. Excessive mean more than necessary. Yeah. Right. And I'm drawing a parallel to him grabbing her feet, rubbing her feet. Listen, an expression of PDA is not a red flag. It's not a red flag. If he was to rub her feet while she's sitting down in front of everybody, some may say he don't really got really good social cues, but you know what? It's just an expression of PDA. Some people just get uncomfortable with any type of PDA. You get what I'm saying? But him rubbing her feet, okay, I make it a light green flag, maybe a little bit. But once he started kissing her feet, you get what I'm saying? Basically, now it turns into performative.
Yeah, it does.
Now it's no more about how much I really care about you or love you, because remember, the last conversation before he went over there and started rubbing her feet, kissing her feet, was basically he's like, oh yeah, I gotta hit that before marriage. Yeah, that's when he was talking amongst the guys,
and that's when to me I felt like he was shifting to let me try and make this happen for myself.
Yes, you know? Yes. Now this is easy. I hope y'all say red.
I wonder if we're gonna get any green flags.
No, I'm trying to paint a picture here. Okay, right. Guilting someone into sex.
That's an easy one.
Come on now. Now, if anybody said green to that, y'all need to go lay on somebody's couch, right?
Or lock you up.
Lock
him up.
Listen here. There was a scene in episode 6 to where KALYBRIAH is sitting there in the bed. They both sitting in the bed. And she is, doing her comparison thing about how she believes that she and Edmonds is one of the best couples out of all the couples. And then she lets him know that, hey, everybody has sex except for us. How do you feel about that? I thought it was a weird question, but, a question is a question, nevertheless, right?
I say production question.
Maybe, right? Because it just felt like if you want to protect sex and definitely want to hold out sex 4 weeks into y'all getting to the altar, I will not talk about sex. Especially amongst the whole thing of, hey, all your little friends having sex except for us. How do you feel about that, right? Yeah. And Edmond, he just seemed like while he was rubbing the feet, trying to get a hot and bothered again, he's sitting there, and it seemed like he was like, what? We're not gonna have sex? And then she goes into details about her sexual history that I felt like it's her choice to share, but I felt like it doesn't benefit the situation in any way, right? Yeah. And then she goes on to talk about how, guess what?
Can I jump in? And I also want to say she already knows that he compares himself to other people, situations. Yes. So for her bringing up and going into detail, which he did ask a question about, there is a way to kind of navigate around that because you already know that he's going to compare himself.
Yes. So while she is basically sharing with him, like, yeah, some people I let them wait 9 months, and then there's some people that, we have one night stands to where I meet them and we just have sex, and then they don't even stay the night. They just go on about their day and things like that. And now he looks at himself, he automatically turns the attention back to himself, talking about how much he's given his all. And how much he's the nice guy, and how he always finds himself in these situations of being the nice guy and getting nothing at the end of it. And he's trying to guilt her into giving him some coochie. Yep. Crying, literally break it down, crying again for some coochie, right? And now we are in a moment to where she is being guilt tripped basically for not giving up the draws or not wanting to give up the draws before marriage. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a red flag. I will say that apparently she went on an interview with AD.
I did see it.
And during that interview, she mentioned that she did tell Edmond during the pods that she wanted to be celibate. And that is something that they already talked about and agreed to. So it took her as surprise when he reacted and responded the way that he did. Now, I guess my thing is that I think that the feeling of frustration is fine. If you have someone that is your fiance and that you want to be intimate with, and the fact that they don't want to, I think it's okay to have a level of frustration like, dang, I would love to do X, Y, and Z. But then that's where the respect for that other person and their boundaries and them as an individual comes into play, to where you don't press them, try to guilt trip them, or have a temper tantrum about the fact that they're not giving it to you. So I think that should be a red flag to KALYBRIAH, that this isn't something that is honestly should last past the next 5 minutes. basically because if we've discussed this already, you came to the agreement, but once you heard that other people had already slept together, and then you heard more about my sexual history, and now you're losing your mind, then clearly you're not going to be somebody that I can pretty much rely and trust on when it comes to me making decisions for myself and you respecting those decisions.
Yeah. So, and just to give a quick review of that AD interview, because I watched it, I thought it was not a good interview in my opinion. Number one, I felt like AD was just a little passive aggressive during the interview towards KALYBRIAH, as if we can't go back to her season and see how she was with Clay. You get what I'm saying? Also, I don't understand the timing of this interview, because this is literally the beginning of the season. It doesn't really serve anything. Because I watched it, I was like, maybe we can review it. But I was like, this is nothing to review. There's no information in there that contributes to what we are seeing. Okay. In my opinion. And my last question before I go on with my deep dive. Staying in a situation knowing that it's toxic. Red flag. Now, Blair, I give you the floor if you have any green flags about this relationship. Based on the 6 episodes that we've seen of EDMOND and KALYBRIAH, are there any green flags that you see about them as a couple?
Okay. I'm going to dig deep, y'all.
Listen here. Listen, do not touch the core of the earth now. I'm just saying.
I think being willing to hold space for your partner with the traumas that have happened in their life. Now, why is that a red flag to you?
I just met you. I literally just met you. And my thing is that, to me, that doesn't outweigh all the other red flags to me.
Well, we're taking a question by question.
Okay, we're taking a question. Okay, well. Okay, I'm about to say, okay, go ahead, keep going.
And the reason that I put it as a green flag, because I said the word partner. I didn't say stranger.
Okay.
When it comes to partner, you're going to have, everybody's going to come into a relationship with baggage. Yeah. It depends on what kind of baggage that you want to deal with or that you're willing to work through. And I think that KALYBRIAH, before she met EDMOND, I think she probably figured this is something I can handle. I'm questioning now that she's met him and had multiple conversations with him, if this is something that she can handle in a relationship outside of work hours.
Yeah.
Because she does not need to be a social worker in her relationship. She just needs to be KALYBRIAH, and he just needs to be EDMOND or whoever else, hopefully somebody else that she decides to be with. Another green flag.
With them. Don't give us random green flags. Give us green flags with them, Blair. If you can find them. You ain't got to make them up.
Expressing affection for your interest.
Okay.
You got an answer too? Okay. So the reason I say it's a green flag is because I like the fact that EDMOND took the time to write her a letter.
Okay.
Expressing himself. I think it was nice that he got her a gift. And I think it was good for him to explain the type of person that he is. I'm not going to be a fighter. I'm not going to be this big, bad, type of guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm not a confrontational guy. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I think for KALYBRIAH, I think it was good for her in her moments when she was talking to him about how she may not be super affectionate and different aspects about her. And this is what you need to take into consideration on decision day when we get to the altar. Yeah. So I like the fact that they are expressing how they feel to each other about each other, and also expressing who they are as individuals. So that way we both can make decisions based off of truth and what is actually real. Because I will say Joe is lying.
Okay.
Joe was not expressing his real feelings. Joe was not expressing who he actually is or why he came on this show, because he done asked her a couple times, can I stay with you after this whole thing is over?
Well, yeah.
So I appreciate at least the rawness and the realness, and please make some decisions based off of what you see and not what you hope to see.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Let's go for what you just said. That you like the fact that she expressed to Edmond what type of person she is, talking about she's not affectionate and things of that nature, while they was in the pods, right?
No, they were in the bed when that conversation happened.
While they was in the bed.
Yeah.
But let's go back in the pods and stuff like that, right? Do you think by any conversation that they had in the pods, did you think Edmond has shown himself to have any bandwidth to take on anything from the opposite party besides of what he's dealing with?
Now, this is what I'm going to say about Edmond. I think Edmond's brain works differently.
Okay.
So
that's a nice way of putting it.
So because of that, I can't say what Edmond believes to be true and what he believes not to be true.
Okay.
I think he could very well believe that he can handle all that comes with KALYBRIAH, but that's why you continue to get to know each other and to see if whatever this person's expectations are, if you can meet those expectations. I think the more that they're talking, I don't know if he's realizing that he's not going to be able to meet those expectations. Of course. And I don't necessarily put that on him not being real. I put that on maybe his capabilities, you know?
I like how you put that. Even though his brain may work differently, KALYBRIAH also have power in this whole conversation as well.
Yes.
She's the one that can see that his brain may work differently. She may see that, oh, if he may feel like he can handle something, she also have the power to say, this guy kind of broke down crying and I had to console him on our first date. Even then, every time we met, he cried. Literally every time we talked behind the pod, he cried based on the editing. When we saw each other in person, he cried and things like that. When I wouldn't give him no coochie, he cried and things like that. So even though he may feel like he can handle it, is it also on the other person's responsibility and accountability to be like, they can't handle it, I'm out?
Yes. And that's why I say everybody needs to work to their full capabilities. I think Edmond is working to his full capabilities, and I need KALYBRIAH to work to her full capabilities with what she sees and makes decisions that are best for her and what she actually wants out of a relationship. These hypotheticals, talking about she don't want to live with bugs, which I don't want to live with bugs either.
Me neither. I ain't gonna hold you.
But if you know that you want certain things and aspects out of a partner, and maybe like you said, maybe she's trying to do it different, get a different type of guy and seeing if this could work, and hopefully she takes the time, which I feel like it, let's cut the time off here. I think we've seen enough to realize what she can actually work with. So
do you have any more green flags that you're trying to dig deep into the earth to find about these two?
That's as far as I'm going.
Listen here. I'm going to go back to my question. Staying in a situation knowing that it's toxic is a red flag.
Yeah.
And to me, KALYBRIAH, you are very unserious. Let me get started on this deep dive, right? First of all, let's start with this, right? There's no way you could convince me, Christopher, that you heard Edmond behind that wall. You seen Edmond in person, right? You actually have encounters with him outside of the first meetup to where you got the bug, you got the hypotheticals, you got the feet rub, you got the feet kissing, you got the crying in bed because you won't give him no coochie. And that you are saying to yourself, you know what? I'm used to dating other guys besides Edmond, and they don't treat me right. So I'm going to stick around with Edmond as if you can't recognize the color red. You are not going to fool me that way, right? There are other red flags. There are obvious red flags. Like there are people who get hit in their relationships. Those are red flags. People that get stolen from in their relationships. Those are red flags. But just because I haven't personally encountered those red flags doesn't mean that I don't recognize or be able to see red flags.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, KALYBRIAH, what are you here for? Because now I'm starting to believe, because I could go on and on and on and make 10 episodes, 20 episodes, 30 episodes if I want to about how bad of a pick Edmond is. I think that's a layup. I think that's easy. I think every reviewer on this YouTube platform is going to say how bad of a pick Edmond was and how did he make it through the whole casting part, right?
Yeah.
But that's easy to say. But we got to start acting like we got power in our relationships. The same way as, guess what? Edmond was able to make it through casting. And guess what? Even though behind the pause, you may not have been able to put a face or even put mannerisms with the voice, but now you've seen him.
You saw him run.
You see him in all his glory, and you see him how he run. You see how he cries over Coochie. You see how he can't regulate his emotions. So now I'm asking you, why are you here past episode 6? Mm-hmm. What is the incentive?
Yeah. And
the incentive to me is that you want to have some type of, I think, some type of credibility, some type of fame, some type, like the payoff got to be more than what you believe you're going through. And I think what we are seeing is a failed Sierra's prayer. Now, I brought up the Sierra's prayer analogy last episode, but I'll bring it up again. Sierra is a singer, dancer, great dancer. Really, really good dancer, right?
Yeah, amazing.
Right? And she's with Russell Wilson, right? But before she was with Russell Wilson, she dated a guy named Future, right? And that was a public relationship. They was in a public relationship, and they had a public breaking up. You get what I'm saying? She was so in love with Future that she named her son after Future. And
his stage name.
His stage name, not even his real name.
Yeah.
Right? And she was so in love with Future, and then basically for her to basically do a whole turnaround to dating and even marrying and even having multiple children with this guy that is the complete opposite of Future. His name is Russell Wilson. They are basically saying, Sierra, what do you pray to get this type of guy? Mm-hmm. Right? And that's where the whole Sierra prayer come from. That's why Sierra is so pro-marriage and things like that. And I have no problem with anybody being pro-marriage because it eventually worked out with her, right? But we also got to look at the other side of it of Sierra. You also played a part in your own demise because you went with Future. Like Future was someone that had multiple kids with multiple baby mothers, right? I don't know why you would subject yourself to that situation thinking that it wouldn't happen to you. And when it happened to you, I'm not putting blame on you, of course, but at the same time, we got to take accountability for our own lives, right?
And the decisions we made.
And the decisions that we made, mm-hmm. right? So now KALYBRIAH is over here basically off of the hypothetical that she pulled out of her toolkit of this big, buff, strong guy, these one-night stand guys that she probably had, guys that she probably had no emotional attachment to. Now she's like, I am going to date someone that's completely opposite of these guys. I have no problem. That's the whole point of basically Love is Blind, talking behind the pause, speed dating, connecting with someone.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But she also said in the casting video that she is used to seeing red flags and ignoring them. So she knows that it's red. She knows that it's red. She's not acting out of ignorance. She's acting out of just being, what's the word? I can't even call it procrastination. Like, it's just something like you just want to be blind, even though you see it, right? So that's why I'm like, what is the incentive for KALYBRIAH to still be with Edmond when you know that he's a red flag?
Well, there's a whole Love is Blind universe.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Brand deals. Look what happened to AD. She got her own
yeah, she did.
podcast
yes.
To join with the show. And there are a lot of opportunities that come with Love is Blind. And
yes.
I will say that in episode 7, if she says, I can't do this, then good job.
No, 100%
good job. Because
good job.
We haven't seen all the episodes yet. We're only talking for episode 6. And at this point, it's time to go.
Yes.
It is time to go.
I think we need to turn our attention to KALYBRIAH because I think Edmond is just going to do things to outdo himself.
But I do want to add one conversation piece about Edmond. I want to talk about casting in Edmond.
Help me.
Do you think that Edmond should have been casted for the show? Do
No.
you think that was...
No.
Okay. All right. Do you think that casting did it intentionally to ruin someone's experience?
I don't know if that's the question that I have the answer for. Mm-hmm. Because if the question was more like, did they make someone choose Edmond? Then I'd probably be like, yeah, they did that to ruin someone's experiment. But I'm like, hey, I can cast a dud. It's on everybody else to recognize the dud and to get away from the dud. Me personally, do I think they casted him on purpose to ruin someone's experience? Whew. It's kind of hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
Because if I feel like he shouldn't have been casted and y'all casted him anyway, y'all definitely didn't cast him to make someone experiment better.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So there has to be some intentionality of why y'all casted this guy.
Yeah.
For TV or something? I don't know.
Yeah, and part of me believes that I think we get a mixture of people when we go on to Love is Blind.
Oh, help me.
I think that we get some people who they believe are probably good matches. And this is, all pulling it out of my head because I don't know what they do. But I think they get probably a good, decent amount of eligible bachelors. And then I think they also have a decent amount of TV gold, however you want to put it. I think that every season of Love is Blind, maybe every other season of Love is Blind.
Maybe, yeah. I'm about to say.
We get a golden couple to where the people are sane. They seem to have fallen in love. They work through their issues, because you're always going to have issues with two people coming together who are two different people. And they're able to get on the good foot, and we're able to root for and get behind them. And I think that Love is Blind probably wants some of those stories, but they got to make money, y'all. They got to keep us engaged. They got to keep us watching. What's going to happen next? Man. Is Edmond going to lick the floor next? Well, he already did that. So what else is he going to do? So I think that it's something to keep us engaged and keep us watching. And I don't believe that he probably was the best casting choice for an eligible bachelor.
He eat boogers.
But he is the choice for the TV gold, which they are looking for, which personally, when you have people coming on here looking for actual love to be married and build a relationship with, I think that whatever psychological evaluations they're doing, if somebody's outright saying that they eat boogers, like, save the woman from making that choice.
Come on now, please.
Try to protect somebody in the process.
So here's let me go back
and let me say another thing.
Go ahead.
I also want to put out there that a lot of these people come on here lying. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Casey came on here. I feel like she lying from jump. I feel like that man was not her ex, it's her current. Anyway, a lot of people come on here lying. So I think that if you are given someone who is authentically themselves and their authentic selves eat boogers, then the answer should be no.
Yeah.
You can't help the people that lie and deceive and show their best personality. But if someone is coming to you raw about all of their quirks and habits, then I think that a decision should be made. Now, I do think that Edmond deserves love, and I do think that Edmond deserves to find the person who is going to be best for him, but I don't believe this was the show for him.
Let me rephrase your question so I can give another perspective in a minute. How you feel about everything you just said, right? Because you asked the question, did they cast him basically to ruin someone's experiment on purpose, right? When you say cast him, are you talking about they approve his application or they sought him out?
Casting means when you have someone approved to come onto the show.
I understand that.
So I'm not talking about recruiting or anything like that.
Okay,
I'm talking about casting as in, yes, you get to come on the show.
Okay, because some people get recruited on this show.
And some people apply.
And you are not talking about someone, you're not talking about Edmond.
I'm not talking about that process.
You're not talking, but I think that matters. Because if Edmond is an applicant, then I think that's different than actually you going and seeking him out. So if you went to seek him out, then y'all are 100% dirty.
Yeah.
Y'all 100% dirty. Besides, like, you not knowing who he is based on the application, you bring him in and things like that, and you kind of be like, oh, he's going to be interesting. He's going to be TV gold. Compared to seeking someone out that you know is toxic. Like as in like, oh yeah, we definitely going to, like, there's only one way that this could go. So that's why I'm like, if he was recruited to be on compared to putting an application to be on, I think I would view the casting process differently.
Yeah.
I think I would view, even though they still got to get past that last line of questioning of yes, no. And it's kind of hard to put it in a way, because unless you telling me that casting is making people choose certain people, because even though he may have been casted on the show, no one, as far as I know, made KALYBRIAH pick this guy.
And that's the point I kind of want to expand on, is that I don't necessarily think that they went into this to try to ruin anyone's experience or to have somebody be with him necessarily, but I think that they thought that he would be a character to watch in the pods.
Oh, so he wasn't supposed to make it past episode 3.
I don't think that anyone intended for him to make it past the pods. I think that when we talk about some of these TV gold characters, like I forget that one season, the one guy who was talking and then he had to, put some Visine in his eyes to make himself cry because he wasn't a real crier. Like, yeah, I think certain people, they're like, oh, this is going to go crazy in the pods. But if you get selected, well, we just have to follow the story.
Well, I will say this then.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking from behind the camera and speaking from in front of the camera as well.
Okay.
What is the most boring part of Love is Blind?
The pods.
The pods. Right? We all can agree.
They got to shake it up somehow.
So in their way, they're trying to put some type of entertainment there in the pods.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if I can see it from a producer lens and things of that nature, I can see me putting some entertainment because the entertainment should be obvious that they are entertainment.
Yeah.
That there's no way a person would pick entertainment. You get what I'm saying? The sound of his voice, his mannerisms, he's crying behind the wall. No. Like basically we just trying to give some type of entertainment in the parts, but let me tell you how that can bite you in the that's a double-edged sword, and let me tell you how. If you put too much entertainment in the pods and they are not chosen to be on the show, then we feel like we wasted our time getting to know this person behind the pods.
True.
So that's why I'm like, is it even worth trying to put people there purposely for entertainment in the pods? For me, no. We know based off the editing, based on what we heard on other seasons of Love is Blind, there are other people who get engaged on the show and still don't get chosen to be filmed or go to the honeymoon and things like that. So it's a double-edged sword, but that's why at the end of the day, if it's for entertainment, if it's for casting, if it's for the show, whatever it is, I still got to put the autonomy on KALYBRIAH to say yes or no. I still got to put it on the person to be like, no, I don't want to be with this person.
So now what do you think about, are they exploiting Edmond?
Ooh, as in like basically using him as like a puppet.
Yeah, and basically because people can tell there's something off there, if there is something that's off there, are they exploiting his issues to get a laugh, to get views, to use him
maybe
as a puppet?
Maybe.
And I would say, yeah, they're definitely exploiting whatever is whatever's off with him.
But can I? But can I?
But let me finish.
Go ahead.
But even though I think that it is an exploitation, I think that he's a person that exists who wants to find love.
Okay.
And because of that, how do I put it? Because once he said he had boogers, he eats his boogers. Like, that should have been a no.
Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
But just because someone is different or has different capabilities, I don't think that you should not cast somebody. And I'm not speaking about Edmond in particular, but I'm speaking about, I don't think you should not cast somebody because that they're different or they have something that might be off about them. I think that if you allow people to apply to a show to find love and people want to find love, then I think that there should be an opportunity for all types of people to find love. So
here's the thing about it. Exploitation, I think we both can agree that is a red flag, right? But this is where I might talk out of both sides of my mouth. Even though Love is Blind is maybe exploiting Edmond, I don't look at Love is Blind as a moral compass.
Neither do I.
So it's like, okay, they are exploiting him. So it's like this is reality TV.
I don't expect any type of responsibility from Love is Blind.
So that's why I'm like, okay, they are exploiting him the same way as you see all these reality TV shows that we review.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, if
half of our shows, people be drug addicts.
So exactly.
And that's exploitation.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not trying to go, woe is them for putting him on there. I put him on a thumbnail. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about him in my review. I'm going to make a deep dive about him because he's
part of the show.
Exactly. And guess what? He's the most interesting part of the show. So that's why I'm like, even though it could be a red flag, you put these two together, maybe it don't make orange, but I'm just saying, like, okay, but that's the whole the dark side of reality TV. Like when you watch these type of shows, you're not. It's kind of weird to be like, how dare Love Is Blind do this?
Yeah,
it's like. Yeah, they supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Even to the point where the winners, even let's say the winners from season 1 of Love Is Blind, the most successful couple, they don't want nothing to do with Love Is Blind and things like that. So I think even though they may be doing a bad thing to Edmond or even showing him, I don't expect Love Is Blind to basically be the moral compass. So I'm not giving them any flack for that.
But I am calling it what it is. And sure, yeah, it is exploitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is at the end of the day, you can use the excuse of, hey, I only heard his voice. I only saw him behind the wall. I didn't know who I was saying yes to.
Yeah.
I give you all of that up to episode 3. Even when he ran up to me with his high waters and he ran away to basically get a letter and he came back with a gift and things like that. He came on a vacation with rollerblades. Okay, he's more than different. Like at this point, KALYBRIAH, I am not accepting you saying I just thought he was just a different type of guy. No. You know he's more than different, right? Because you knew he was more than different. The nail in the coffin was when you said no to sex or no to possible sex, and he started crying, talking about how much he's a nice guy, he's a good guy, and he's giving you his all. And because he's giving you his all, how come these guys get to hit it quicker than I get to hit it?
Yeah.
So now you got all the evidence to basically discontinue this process if you want a healthy relationship. And now I believe, this is just me, and I think y'all should watch it back. When he was having his meltdown, I think she put her hand over her mouth because she didn't want to laugh in his face.
I agree. Yeah, because that's when I started laughing.
Okay. Well, Blair's telling herself. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think she knows. This is my opinion. I think she knows that Edmond is not the guy that she would say yes to, even though he may be different than all the other guys. But I think he falls in the same box of she knows she's not going to say yes to this guy. So now, and I think she knew she was never going to have sex with this guy. So now I ask the question, why even bring up sex? Why even ask his opinion on what he thinks about us being the only couple not having sex and things like that? If I believe you know or knew that you did not want to sleep with this guy. Now, are you? I'm not gonna say teasing because these are adults and things like that. But now I gotta ask the question: what is your motive?
Yeah. What are your intentions?
Yeah. Even though Edmond can be a red flag and all these red flags, KALYBRIAH is very unserious to me. Okay, like
very unserious.
She is. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that deep dive. I'm sweating over here. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype up the video. We see you next time.
Bye.